Hello, Judy Silva here with Look Up Homeschooling. This is video number 2. If you haven't watched video number 1 on Canadian content that I have gathered over 10 years of homeschooling. Now, I haven't kept them all because I have given some away over the years, but I'm sharing these with you. And what I'm about to share with you has either been free or used. And there are some real gems here regarding Canadian content. I'm going to flip the camera around now. Massive poster on here, and it's a beautiful, beautiful poster. I actually have the Bill of Rights as well framed, and I'm just going to zoom in there. I've got a massive one, and the Canadian Charter of Rights of Freedoms, I have that as well. I also have a poster of all the Canadian prime ministers. Here we go. Provinces when they become part of Canada, pictures of the legislative buildings of each and every one of them. Then they all have their coat of arms and their flags. And then also have every province, territory has a flower and an animal. And so this poster has all of that. It's quite interesting. And then it talks about, gives a summary of each of the symbols that are in each one of them. So for example, Prince Edward Island tartan, the red oak tree, Charlottetown soil, and a Canadian flag. And so that's what that is showing for Prince Edward Island. That's what their flag represents. Can I get in there for you? That is Prince Edward Island. And that's what their flag means. So in addition to this, this is Canada's coat of arms. I hope you can see that. And then I also got our country, our parliament. And this is basically an introduction to Parliament, the structure of our Parliament of Canada. And it kind of goes into detail, the terminology, the Constitution. There's a smaller version of the Canadian Charts of Rights and Freedoms, the system of government. And I actually have more. And I got all this for free online at canada.ca, the federal government website. And if you go on there and you scroll free items, you probably, hopefully can come to the page that I came to, and they have so much free stuff on there. They'll ship to you. You say that, you're homeschooling. I got a year for free, 1 year subscription to Canadian Geographic because I was a homeschooling parent and I was registered with the province. And I got the whole thing for free. So I'm going to take these posters off. So you can actually phone tour companies, provincial tours, centers across Canada, and get lots of free items. There's ways to get free items. Okay, let's start with the top row. Jason has been shot. This is a true story based out of Taber, Alberta, when a pastor's son was shot in school. And I know that right now with British Columbia and the school shooting, and there has been some heightened security among schools. But this is his story, the father's story, and how he looked through it through the biblical lens and how he forgave the shooter. And it's a very, very good book. Waves of Hope is another Christian book. This is the story of a businessman, Alan McGurl, who started an organization with some other men developing radios and giving them around the world, filled with the Bible or Bible stories in the native language of countries around the world. You Asked Why by Joseph Pope. So this is also a book, an Indigenous book, and he's basically answering those questions. It's a book based on apologetics, which means, the evidence for God, and asking those questions like, is God real? Did Jesus Christ really rise from the dead? How do we know the Bible is true? And then 100 Huntley Street. Most of you have probably heard of that TV show that's been around a long time. This is the story of it. Rescue in Word and Deed. This is the story behind Union Gospel Mission. This one I haven't read yet. This is a story about an immigrant boy, Joseph Wilder. It's his story about coming to Canada. And then this one here is fiction. There's a Dear Canada series, and this is called Not a Nickel to Spare. It's about a family in the Great Depression in Toronto, Ontario. But it's based on actual facts, historical facts. So the setting is historically true, and it's good. I haven't finished reading that one. Now we're going to get down into some historical books. So this, John Cabot, and those ones all at the top, I found all of those at thrift stores. This one I got for free because I was volunteering, but the other ones were all at thrift stores. And then there's these two books written by Jim Wallace. Now these are gems of a book. He has written 4 or 5 books. I've only found 2. And he is a Canadian retired Army officer, and he has had a lifelong interest in Canadian history. He had access to all kinds of information, and he spent years researching and put together these 2 books. This one is the beginning of Canada, and this one is the rebellion in 1885. I've read this one completely. I've not read this one yet. The way he writes is I can't put the book down. And it gives you an in-depth understanding and picture of what happened. And it puts it all together rather than getting bit by pieces. It's a good high school book to learn about Canadian history and having discussions. It's really, really good. These I also got for free. They might probably have videos that you can download. I'm not really sure. But this is from Veterans Canada. So if you go on their website, they might have some stuff that you can get. And this is from the federal government website. But these are DVDs about the wars. So this is the 1914 to 1918 and World War I and World War II. And then these are these historical minutes that sometimes you might see on TV. Well, we used to. They're basically limited edition military minute DVDs. And it takes events that happen and the actors reenact them. And then this is another DVD from Veteran Affairs Canada. And it's coming of age. And it's an interactive CD-ROM. Of course, they won't have that anymore. But they might have it downloaded. So you can get hopefully still get a lot of stuff free from government websites. Federal government, I haven't looked at provincial. And this is Heritage Studies. Now, I used to work at a school and they were getting rid of a bunch of used books. So I don't know if you can find this online, but it's really good. Heritage Studies, 3rd edition, BJU Press. So this is BJU Press is a Christian curriculum provider. Heritage Studies is world. It's Canadian centered, but it deals with history and culture and all kinds of things all around the world. It's very, very good. And then these books I got at thrift stores. Mammals of the Canadian Wild, The Wonder of Canadian Birds, and Canada, the Scenic Land. Books are really good. I know that everybody's doing ebooks now and everything, but I think our children are really missing out. It is not the same. I mean, you look at this and there's a glow to this photograph and you can feel the books and you're turning the pages and they have the smell to them and you can hear the sound of turning the pages. It just activates more senses and causes deeper learning with real books. And keep your books, because one day, I do believe that one day we're going to come back to books because they're just better for reading. They really, really are. Look at these beautiful, detailed photographs. Isn't that amazing? That's in Canada. Of course, this is Johnston, Canada, Banff National Park. There's so many beautiful places in Canada. And I mean, you can find videos online that are good, but there's just something about a book. Listen to that sound. I just love that sound. This has got all kinds of beautiful photography. And of course, it incorporates history into everything here. It's not just photos. There's science in here. It talks about the different animals. Look at that photograph. Look at the details in that eye. Wow. These photographers have these magnificent camera lenses. They look like they're 2 feet long. And you get all these shots of wildlife. This is the first oil pump in Leduc, Alberta. It says, "Oh, pump." You know, I'm pretty sure that's the one. The very first oil drill in Canada was Luke, Alberta. And here we have the boardwalk, Point Pelee National Park in Ontario. Wow, what a beautiful walk. So it can learn all about Canada. And then again, if there's something in there, turn it into a unit study or a project. Birds. We lived on a hobby farm, and every spring and every fall, we would have so many different birds. You could stand outside and just, it was like this sweet orchestra of sounds. And so a friend of mine's mom was a bird fanatic, and so she came out and she was just like, oh wow, you hear that? That's that kind of bird. Do you hear this? There's that kind of bird. And now I pay more attention to birds. But yeah, I mean, we had encounters with bald eagles, falcons, owls, so many birds, hummingbirds, robins, grouses, partridges, just so many birds. I mean, I don't remember them all. Chickadees, blue jays, crows. We had ducks, geese, all kinds of them. And here we go with mammals across Canada. This is another beautiful, beautiful book. And this is good for animal science. You know, there's so many sciences we can do. There's so much you can do in science. And we're never, ever going to be able to do every kind of science there is. And that's okay. But I think there's some basic foundationals like human biology, geology, learning about the animals of our country, gardening there, food sciences. There's so many practical sciences that we need to learn. And then you can go from there, you know, if they want to go into chemistry or other specialty areas. Listen to the sound of that book. And the feel of the book. Oh, there's a badger. I've had a few wildlife encounters myself. I held a baby beaver once that was lost. Otters. Lots of squirrels. You love them or you hate them, depending. Oh, I have a story about a woodchuck on our farm. One day I'll make a collaboration of all the photos and all the stories with animals, both domestic and wild. Anyways, so I wanted to share that with you. That's a porcupine. And again, these are free or thrift stores. I mentioned in the other previous video, you could go to thriftbooks.com, and they do have some used curriculum on there sometimes. My first time in ordering from them went well. Businesses were good and the product was good. So just sharing this with you. I have lots more I'll be sharing on videos in terms of curriculum and other books and games. I think I did a whole video on all the games we have or photographs. So this book was free. Canada's Story and Song with guitar and piano accompaniment. And these are old folk songs. So this is 1965. And these are native songs and poetry. Like all of these. The New Settlers from Scotland. There's so many songs that are like poetry, written 100 years ago, over 100 years ago. And then I do have two Canadian games. I got these, I believe, from Homeschooling Conference. We still play this one. It's from Outset, and it's a trivia game. It's actually really good. And of course, Professor Noggins has tons of games, and we have that one as well. All right, so you got a glimpse there of my little bit of a messy living room while I do this. So yeah, I hope this gives you some ideas. Go to thrift stores, used bookstores. Go online and look for used books. I came across used curriculum on Amazon today. Do searching, you could probably save some money. I know that we had a tight homeschooling budget and I had to get quite creative, which was a good thing because I found very creative ways to teach that I share with you on some of my webinars. I have a math webinar that you can join right now. It's my approach to math, which is called SAID, S-A-I-D, Simple, Active, Integrated, Deeper Learning. And it can be implemented in pretty much any subject that you're teaching, but math happens to be one of those ones, and writing happens to be another one where parents need help. And so Look Up Homeschooling is to help you as parents. There's a growing resources on there, but I'm also developing online courses that I think are needed for Canadian content. I'm working on those. I hope to have one launched in the fall. So you can sign up for the webinars at lookuphomeschooling.ca. You can click join as well. And I do not send spam. I will notify you when new courses come out or new items are put up on the website. And we're also on Facebook. Look up homeschooling.ca. Take care and God bless.